Hello and welcome. I'm Prepper21. Today I'm bringing you easy to grow microgreens for health and welfare. I talk a lot about microgreens, but I never really showed a little step by step of how easy they are to prepare to grow, and then harvest and eat them. They're good and they're good for you. So here we go. My name is Tony Teolis. My website is tonyteolis.com, and I teach people how to grow a food florist, whether it be in your backyard or in your green room in your own home. I also share information for helping others achieve excellence with AI research, career development, and of course, growing your garden. My YouTube channel is Prepper21. Thanks for coming by and visiting. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. My disclaimer is basically what you see here is what's worked for me. It should work for you, but everybody's a little different, and everybody's equipment's a little different. Everybody's experience is a little different. So please, before you get started, read the disclaimer and check with your friends and families about your plans before you just start getting into them. So growing microgreens to me is part of the permaculture's design principles. And by that, I mean, the principles of being able to care for our earth, care for each other, and share as much as we can. I think come out of the designer's manual for permaculture, and today in particular, the principle that we're focusing on is because microgreens are so easy to grow and get a harvest, it's obtain a yield. Permaculture principles were developed by Bill Mollison, who wrote the Permaculture, a designer's manual, and here's a link to it. You can get a PDF of it for free. It's great, and I believe, like Bill, that there's too much futility spent in going around and trying to destroy the very systems that we depend on to get by. And that's why it's a good idea to learn how to make some of those systems ourselves, hence microgreens. But check out the PDF. It's a great read, and it's not a short read. So microgreens at a glance. I get my microgreen seeds from the Sprout people in California. They're the finest seeds. I've been getting seeds from them for over 10 years, and they've been in business for over 30 years. Most varieties of microgreens tend to be rich in potassium, iron, zinc, magnesium, copper, and antioxidants. And one thing I want to note is that microgreens are just that. They're greens, okay? All kinds of different greens like arugula and spinach, broccoli, things that you would normally grow in a garden that are green, but they're grown closer together, and they are only grown about that tall. So hence the word microgreens, but they are macro powerful. We like to grow arugula, cress, and daikon, and peas and sunflower in particular have extra protein and amino acids, and also require a little extra when it comes to growing them, which you'll see. So arugula, peas, and sunflower. This is what they look like when they're just getting ready to harvest. Microgreens at use. And what do you do with them once you grow them? Well, for me, I like to put them right into salads or smoothies, sandwiches, and basically I'll just put them anywhere there's food. The equipment for growing microgreens is basically, if you do it right, one-time purchases that'll last a while, and it's not very much. It's some trays, a light for growing, your growing medium, and the most important thing we all need is water. So the trays that I get come from Greenhouse Megastore, which is really great for providing quality trays, not the crap you might find elsewhere, but good firm trays that'll last a long time, several years in fact. So I use little trays. I place them in a 10 by 20 tray to grow the microgreens. The medium that I use is coconut coir for the microgreens like arugula, and that's made from the husks of coconuts, obviously, compacted into a bale like this, 5 kilogram, and you cut a piece off and soak it in water and break it up, and that's your sterile growing medium. It's really fine, not dirty, doesn't leave a mess on your hands like topsoil or others will. Now, for the other medium for the protein plants, the sunflower, the peas, they need more nutrient-rich medium, and typically I'll use potting soil. But thanks to pinball preparedness, lately I've created my own mix of 1 cup of peat moss, 1 cup of peat moss, and 3 cups of vermiculite, and a teaspoon of 253 fertilizer. Mix that together. That'll be a fine enough medium for growing the peas and sunflower, and starting any plants in particular. Microgreen preps, not much to it. First, you get your equipment, you wash it. I wash mine in the sink with dishwash soap and hot water. But I'm growing for myself and my family, so I'm not selling this on the market anywhere. And this is fine for making our equipment clean. If I'm going to grow peas and sunflower, I need to soak the seeds 24 hours in advance because they're hard and they need to be softened up a little bit. And then I'll get the trays and the heat mat ready. The heat mat's just a simple device. For me, I need it. If you're doing it in your home, you probably won't need it. I like to maintain a temperature of about 70 degrees. And in the green room where they are, it's unheated. So having the heat mat is an option that's helpful for me. Continuing on with the preps, we want to go ahead and prep the small trays with the growing medium. So I have coconut coir in one for the arugula and potting soil in the other two for the peas and the sunflower. We'll put water in a 10 by 20 tray and put the trays inside of them, mist the medium if it needs it, if they're not quite soaked through. And then I pat them down with a piece of wood to maintain a firm base on which to rest the seeds so that they can grow down and in. Especially with the arugula, the coconut coir is very fine, and if you don't tamp the soil or the medium down first, it'll stick to the plants as they grow, and you'll have too much in where you want to be doing your cutting, and it makes a little bit of a mess. So tamping down with a piece of wood, good idea. So next we add the seeds, and I use a 1/2 cup each of sunflower seeds and pea seeds soaked for 24 hours and a tablespoon of arugula seeds. And you just sprinkle them on top as you see here. And the arugula, I like to sprinkle around a little bit and grow them in little clumps like this because it's easy to come in and harvest. And you'll be surprised how many grow out of this type of planting. And then I'll mist with water if necessary. The next step is to cover up to germinate. So we want to place the extra trays on the peas and sunflower, and this will help the roots grow down deeper and become firmer, and then push those very trays up. It's wonderful to watch. It's a bit of fun. I have the tray cover here. It's just another regular 10 by 20 tray with drill holes in it for ventilation, and I missed that. Create some humidity. And then I'll cover everything up, turn on the heat mat, and germination will get underway. After 48 hours, we'll go in and check the greens. You see that the trays are already rising up a little bit off the peas and sunflower. I'll mist a little bit if necessary. I want to be able to observe and watch what I'm doing. And in another day, those trays will rise even higher off of the peas and sunflower. I mist and cover, replace everything. So microgreens are really wonderful, especially for anybody who's never gardened before, because it's a very small amount of space, very small amount of space, micro space, and you start to see growth within just 48 hours. This is what the arugula looks like after 48 hours on the left, turning yellow, needs to go under lights. After 72 hours, turning green already. And the peas and sunflower are ready to go under the lights after 72 hours as well. From there, things move along pretty quickly. So as I said, after 3 days, the covers can come off and you can begin to harvest after 5 days, the sunflower and the arugula. The peas still need some time. They'll grow a little taller and develop tendrils and um, really start to get ready for the fry pan or your salad. And what I like to do is I'll just pull them aside a little bit, whatever the microgreens are, in particular the arugula. I'll either use a knife to cut at the stem level or a pair of scissors, and they'll come up in nice little clumps. The best thing about microgreens is that, you know, they're food, but they're also ready to eat food. So once I harvest, I can start to eat them. You can clean them if you want, but everything is pretty clean in the room. There's no pests to mess with and I'll start eating salads directly from the table here, or the hydroponics growing table, or the microgreens tray. And then I'll put the extras away because I can store them for up to a week and put them in fridge, label them, and you've got some salad additions and soup additions for quite a while. I like to eat them raw too. I mean, they take up the form of a snack sometimes. So after harvest, you grow them. There's not much more to do here. You see that the most useful greens have been cut away. So it's time to put them in a compost. Start building a compost bin if you don't have one, or feed it to livestock. And as they grow old, out of the trays because their roots grow down and they're compacted, so you can just pop them right out of the tray and toss them where they'll be either composted or put to good use. And then it's time to get ready to clean all the equipment again and get ready for the next round. So thank you for sticking around to watch that tutorial. Let me know what you think. There's more useful resources at tonytiolas.com, and you'll find that under the gardening section. And again, why me? Well, I've been doing this for quite a while. Microgreens, oh boy, maybe 7 years, going back to 2013, growing microgreens. And they're wonderful because you can really spend more time with them in the wintertime and grow more of them and learn the different varieties and provide greens in a time when they're hard to get elsewhere. I've been gardening for years, since 2008. I've had a lot of successes and failures, and I like to share and document what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And really, I want to share with you and hopefully learn from you. And please, I accept critique as well. So if you saw anything here that you liked, or you got questions or concerns, please ask. If I don't get to the answer, somebody else will quickly. Thanks again. Get prepared with microgreens today. Get prepared.